Hello and welcome to Reigate Grammar School's forecast for Friday's solar eclipse. We're going to be bringing you what you'll see for the day. First, let's go see George, our presenter, outside.
So the eclipse in the UK is going to be what is known as a deep partial eclipse, meaning that not all of, but the majority of the sun will be concealed, specifically 84 to 87%, more so in the north of the country. There will not be a more complete eclipse in the UK for 11 years, specifically until the 12th of August 2026. Now, never look at the sun, even during an eclipse, no matter how tempting it is. During an eclipse, your eyes are actually more vulnerable as they are tricked into thinking it is dark, so your pupils dilate, so more of your eye is actually vulnerable to the sun's rays. Now, eclipses happen because the sun is approximately 400 times the size of the moon, but is also 400 times further away from the Earth, making the perceived size to the human eye roughly equal. Now, an eclipse can do strange things to the weather. Obviously, you can expect to feel a bit colder as the sun is obscured, roughly this time about 1 degrees C cooler, but clouds can change shape and type as well. Finally, a mysterious wind known as an eclipse wind could occur. Now, this is thought to happen because cool air descends from height because of the eclipse's passage. Now, to repeat myself, never look at the sun. Doing so can cause permanent eye damage, especially with any kind of optical aid. Now, over to Tom with the weather station.
Thank you, George. Our weather station collects masses of data and sends it to our live websites every few seconds. During the eclipse, it will collect data, including temperature, humidity, pressure, rainfall, and solar radiation. Another thing we will measure is the wind speed, which will be measured by our anemometer high on the roof, as you can see here. We will then analyse this data carefully to see what the impact of the eclipse has had on weather in Reigate. We will then upload our eclipse experiment data to the National Eclipse Weather Experiment, NEWEX, run by the Department of Meteorology at the University of Reading. There are many ways you can view an eclipse. You can invest in a pair of glasses, but most people find that it still leaves blue spots on their eyes. Another way you can do it is by piercing a hole in a piece of paper, then hold another piece of paper under that. It should act like a pinhole camera and you'll have the image projected underneath. A final way you can do it is by getting a bowl of water. Look into the bowl of water, you should see the eclipse on the bottom. Thank you. Over to Fraser with a bit of history.
People believe many different things about the eclipse, and folklore is full of myths about what it could be or mean. The Chinese, for example, believe that a giant dragon came out and ate the sun. The Vietnamese believed it was a big frog, whilst the Koreans thought it was a dog. Incidentally, many European tribes thought it was a pack of wolves that devoured it. There's just something about eating the moon and folklore that just comes naturally. In Hindu mythology, it was thought that when a demon, who was killed by Vishnu, was beheaded, his head flew across the sky and swallowed the sun. People would usually come out of their houses during the eclipse to bang pots or other things very loudly to scare the demons away. It's still bad to cook during the eclipse in many countries, as people think that any food prepared will be poisoned.
Thank you, Fraser, and now over to George with the weather forecast.
And the weather forecast for Friday midnight is as follows. We have some light rain across Scotland. Not too much to worry about though. Temperature there is around 5 degrees around midnight, so it's quite warm. In the south, we have some cloud, and it's around 3 degrees. Now, there could be some clouds over the night moving down from Scotland into northern England, but in the Midlands, West England and Ireland, it should be relatively clear.
Now for the weather forecast at 8 o'clock with George.
So, Friday 8 a.m. Rain in Scotland petering out. We have some clouds moving further south, and we do have some cloud now in the southeast. Temperatures south around 4 degrees, northern England around 5, but it should still be relatively clear in the Midlands and Wales.
Thank you, George. Now over to Tom for the weather forecast at the time of the eclipse.
So Friday 9:30, the main eclipse period. Still in Scotland there is some patchy light rain, so that might obscure the view for some. However, in the Midlands and northern England it is clearing. Down in Wales, sunny intervals, so there is a reasonable chance of seeing the eclipse. However, in southern southeast England. There is some low cloud clearing south if we're lucky, so we may get to see the eclipse. But if that does not clear, then we won't.
That's all from the RGS Weather team. Remember that you must never look directly at the eclipse. Stay safe and we hope you get to see it.